Hello chess friends, this is Nazmican. In this video I'll continue on covering the games of European Chess Club Cup 2015, and this is the position from the game Vladimir Kramnik against Topalov. And as you see, white has very active pieces and bishop pair, and black has also weaknesses around the black king, namely on the dark squares. And in this critical position, Kramnik plays the move bishop takes d7, giving up the bishop pair, but now he gets opposite color bishop's position, which favors the attacker. As you see, there is no defender on the dark squares, and this bishop on d5 cannot help for the defense of his king. And queen f7 was played. Of course, there are hidden tactical possibilities which can be observed after, let's say, the move rook c2, active looking move attacking b2, but there is a tactical solution in this position which you can stop your video and try to find it yourself. In this position, white has very strong rook takes d5 move. The idea is trying to deflect the black queen on d7. Of course, queen takes d5 is impossible because of queen g7, so it has to take with the e pawn, e takes d5, and now e pawn joins the attack, and e6, trying to deflect the queen. If queen b7 or c7, then there is a move e7, threatening mate in 1, and black has no defense apart from king f7, but after queen g7, black has no defense after queen e8 or king e8 or king e6. Let's say king e8. White can improve further his position and to make the threat of queen f8 stronger by playing the move rook e1, joining the last force into the attack, and the game is over. Queen f8 and e8 queen is threatened, and it cannot be stopped by any means. So for this reason, queen f7 is played and trying to stop this idea, and also preparing the ideas of playing queen f8. And for this reason, seeing that the queen f8 idea is prepared by Topalov, Kramnik makes a brilliant preparatory move, b3 here, stopping any kind of rook c4 ideas, which will be seen in the future. After queen f8, now the exchange of queens doesn't lead anywhere for white, so queen f4 has to be played. Now the idea is clear: b3 pawn protecting the c4 square, and queen f4 standing nicely. And for this reason, black continues his play on the c file, penetrating the second rank and preparing doubling of the rooks on the c file. And white should also has to create threats against the black king, which can be done by softening up the king cover on the king side. And he starts the action with the move h4, simply trying to weaken the king's position by playing h5, rook a c8, h5, queen e8. Topalov is trying to defend the g6 square, and now another force joins the attack, rook d3. Now the simple idea is take and rook h3 with simple mating motifs, or rook g3 if queen takes. So rook 2 to c3 is logical, rook a d1, protecting and developing. And now Topalov makes a blunder in this position. He plays g takes h5, hoping to play a queen g6 in the future. But he should play something like maybe b5 is suggested by computers. But after g takes h5, you can stop your video in order to figure out how to continue for white, because there is a very nice blow in this position, which was rook takes d5. Exchange sacrifice in order to create an attacking unit with the e5 pawn and weakening the pawns on the board. E takes d5 and e6. The point is revealed. White is simply trying to regain the material and continue attacking. For this reason, Topalov played the move rook 3 to c7. Of course, it can be seen that queen takes e6 is not possible because there is queen g5, and after queen g7, white will remain a piece up after bishop takes c3. For this reason, rook c7 was played, and rook takes d5. White is continuing his attack and trying to take f5, and also e-pawn is a very strong force. For this reason, Topalov takes on e6, but to no avail, because after queen g5 check and rook takes f5, all white's forces attacking the exposed black king, and it's almost impossible to stop white's attack. Rook f7, and you can stop your video to find the finishing touch here. Kramnik plays queen h6 and the simple rook e5 move, pinning the queen and winning it. So after the move rook c6, and Kramnik is in no hurry, plays queen takes h5, and black resigns. He cannot move anything and he will lose his queen after rook takes e6. Okay, let's move on to the next game. And this game is Leko against Ferreira. And in this position, Leko played the move a takes b6, which is not important for our issue. In this position, computer gives a very strong solution for white in order to increase his advantage, because he has very active pieces, and for this reason he might give a decisive blow in this position. And you might stop your video in order to figure out how to continue the fight. It's also possible to say that after a takes b6, Leko has also the advantage, but he couldn't achieve more than a draw. But in this position, he has stronger alternative, which is bishop takes d5. A very deep move. The idea will be revealed after e takes d5, rook takes e7, bishop takes e7, queen takes e7, and after rook c3, it seems that black's counterattack is strong. He's attacking the knight, and also he takes his pawn back on c3, and he might ideas of attacking on the c file with this rook. And white has a very strong idea of relocating this rook by attacking it with the queen b4. The idea is, of course, to play rook e7 also. Rook c4 is forced, and queen d6. The idea is same, but this time c3 knight is not threatened, so black has to do something about it. Queen f5 seems like the most logical in order to avoid the rook e7 threat. And black is also trying to counterattack on the c file with his queen in case of rook's invasion on the 7th rank. So after the very strong move knight d2, knight will come to defense for the weakened white king, and he is doing it with tempo. Of course, there is other move apart from takes d4. There is rook c2 also, but the situation will be the same after, let's say, rook e7, king h6, and again the same idea. The knight helping the white king, and there are various threats for the black king and knight here. Let's say knight f6. Otherwise, there are not too many great squares for the knight. Knight f6, but this time rook e5, double attack on the f8 square and the queen. Knight e4 looks like the only move, and queen takes d5, and also the same tactical ideas, attacking the knight and queen. So knight c3 is forced, and after rook takes f5, white will remain a piece up. Of course, this is the computer line, but after seeing the idea of playing knight to defense with this maneuver, it will be easy for white to see the rest. He can play rook takes d4, as I mentioned, but after check and played very strong knight f1, now there are too many threats to meet for black. Knight is threatened, and knight f6 can be met by rook e5, and it's over. Let's say rook d1 in order to attack the white king, but now there is queen takes d7, and black threats are coming short because there is a mating ideas on h3 this time. And for this reason, bishop d5 looks like a missed opportunity for Petr Leko, and after a takes b6, rook takes b6, after some adventures, black managed to draw the game. Okay, let's move on to the next game. And the next game was played between Petr Leko and Vasily Ivanchuk. And in this position, Ivanchuk is an exchange up, and he has a better position, almost winning position. But he played the move king e8. This is a horrible blunder, loses the game. Instead, computer suggests the simple move c5, preparing the move c4 and attacking the white king. But in this position, Vasily Ivanchuk tried to run away with his king by playing king e8, and now the position of hanging rook on g2 costs him the game. Now you can stop your video in order to find how to finish the game off. And in this position, simple queen g8 move is too strong to meet here. And after queen f8 move, there is bishop takes f7. And in this position, Vasily Ivanchuk resigned because after take on f7, he will remain material up. And he resigned. But let's look what happens after queen g8. Let's say king d7 or e7. Of course, king d7 can be met by in the same fashion with bishop f5, trying to take the g2 rook. So for this reason, king e7 only logical alternative, but this time taken on f7 and taken on b7 wins the game. A sad situation for Vasily Ivanchuk. He has a winning position here, but he lost it with one blunder. Okay, let's move on to the next game. And this game was played between Vladimir Malakhov against Dem Baher. White has very active pieces on the f-file, queen and rook, bishop, and very strong pawn on e5. And black's forces look somewhat uncoordinated. And in this position, you can try to figure out how to continue the fight for white here. Let's say after rook g3, black has the move queen f5, and there is no attack. This bishop is very strong for holding on the black's position. So for this reason, Malakhov takes it with rook takes d3, queen takes d3, and bishop h5. It's apparent that not only attacking here, but also creating ideas of penetrating, and this rook has nowhere to go due to this strong pair of bishops. Bishop a5 was played, attacking c3 and also protecting the e8 rook with his rook, and e6 was played. Very strong, creating an attacking unit, but also creating a very dangerous idea of playing rook e5, preparing a rook lift on the 5th rank. Bishop takes c3, attacking the rook, and rook e5 comes, and now white is simply threatening mate with bishop f7 and rook e5, and it's almost unstoppable. King h8 was played, and after bishop takes e8, in between move doesn't help, and queen f7 not only threatening e8 rook but also rook h5, winning huge material. So black resigned in this position. Okay, let's move on to the next game. And this is Mamedyarov against a lower rated opponent, Asendorf. And as you see, black played the move king g7, and it can be seen that white has 2 passed pawns on the queen side, and black has also exposed king. And in this position, Shahriar Mamedyarov makes a very nice move in order to step up his pressure with a very nice queen maneuver. You can try to figure out yourself in order to find the move. As you see, after the exchange on g7, the dark squares on the over the king side are weakened. So for this reason, Mamedyarov played the move queen h1, a very strong move, trying to reach the h6 square via h1, and black has no other ways to stop the idea apart from the moves like h5 here. He's trying to counterattack after rook h8 if white takes on h5, but Mamedyarov has a stronger idea. Knight f6 takes. It has to be taken because now white can take it with the knight, and also it's attacking the queen here. Bishop takes, e takes f5, king takes f6. Now, after queen takes h5, it seems that black king is more exposed, and the forces on the queen side is ready for action. And now Mamedyarov begins with c4, and I don't want to go deeper into the position. I just want to mention this brilliant maneuver, queen h1 and queen h6, trying to make use of this weakened dark squares on the black king. Okay, after the move c4, white went on to win smoothly. So let's move on to the next game. And next game was Shahriar Mamedyarov against Etienne Bacrot. White has very nice knight on e6, as you can see, and also another beautiful knight on c4. But apart from trying to create counterplay on the queen side, which was prepared with the move rook b1 and b4, white can try to make use of the weakened king position here. Again, you can stop your video and try to figure out how to continue for white in this position. And Shahriar Mamedyarov makes a very strong move here, e5. This has the idea of playing the move queen takes g6, and also d6 pawn is threatened, and Bacrot played the move knight takes e5, and after takes, queen takes d6 check, and king h8. Of course, there are not too many possibilities for black in this position. Let's say bishop g7. It can be met by knight g7 or rook f1 possibly. Let's say rook f1 if black takes here. Of course, there's a threat of playing rook f8, and king can run away, and black has to protect f8. And here, and white can win after penetrating with his rook onto f7 square. Let's say here, and he has to protect the king side, so queen a1 moves doesn't lead anywhere, because after king g2, rook b2, black's threats coming short, f1 square is protected. So for this reason, after queen takes g6, Bacrot played the move king h8, but this time rook f1 comes very strong again, threatening to play rook f7 and ignoring the threat of rook takes b2. Queen h7 was played. Of course, this rook is needed to protect this 8th rank. Queen h7 was played, and of course, when attacking, it's advisable not to exchange the pieces, mainly the queen. So for this reason, queen h5 was played. Bishop takes b2, and rook f7 comes here. Queen e4 check, and after king h3, it seems that queen h6 is a very strong threat. After the only move, bishop c1, protecting here. Novajara finished the game with the move knight f4. The idea is after takes, you cannot protect h6, and if here, then rook f7 comes too strong, and rook h6, queen h6 wins the game. So for this reason, after knight f4, Etienne Bako resigned the game. Okay, it's it for now. I will continue on looking other games which was played in European Club Cup in 2015. I hope you like the games which we examined, and I hope to see you in next videos.